Well, hello again. I wasn't going to do a video on this because I thought it was complete and utter rubbish. I mean, when I first saw Corey Good some years ago, I thought this guy's not worth the time of day. You know, it's complete and utter rubbish. You know, 10, 20 and back, is it? You know, it's bloody rubbish. Never paid any attention to Corey Good after about 20 minutes of listening to his complete and utter rubbish. I think he's didn't Guy take him to court, and he actually confessed as much, that it's all complete and utter rubbish. But he thought it was okay to tell people all these fanciful tales because he thought he was helping them. You know, there's a lot of people out there that want to live in fantasy land where all this spacey stuff, secret space programs, super soldiers, is all real. And of course, none of it is. It's all complete and utter rubbish. Randy Kramer's another one, you know. Does these talks about the Arcturans, and the best he can come up with is a crayon drawing of an Arcturan mothership, you know. So you can guess who I'm going to be talking about here. Well, at least a little bit anyway, and that's Jason Sands, this new this new whistleblower. Now, personal opinion, I think it's complete and utter rubbish. I don't believe a word of it. But he's peddling a very similar story to Corey Good, you know, with the 20 and back, and they clone you, and time travel, and, you know, does anybody out there, I can't even believe I'm doing this video, you know, it's not worth my time. It really isn't. It's just drivel, you know. And I think it's a pretty good example of the UFO ET fanboy community falling apart at the seams. If they've, you know, they're saying this guy is a whistleblower. You know, he's another one. Is he one of Coulthard's 40 whistleblowers? Danny Sheehan's 40 whistleblowers? Is he? You know, even Eric Davis, who's been peddling all this bloody science fiction rubbish for decades, says that Jason Sands is full of bullshit. You know, it's all bullshit. He's full of crap. That's Eric Davis, one of the guys, along with Hal Puthoff, that should be subpoenaed, and they should be questioned under oath, and they should be asked to provide tangible evidence because of their claims, because they're the people that have been peddling this stuff for decades. Eric Davis and Hal Puthoff are at the core of this. Eric Davis says Jason Sands is a fraud. Now there's infighting amongst the UFO ET fanboys, and if Coulthard's going to back this guy up, and Grush is going to back this guy up, there does seem to be a recurring theme running through these people. Now I don't know whether it's true of Jason Sands, but you know, some of them. Well, a few of them have mental health issues. You know, they get downloads from aliens as soon as they lose their jobs or their companies fail. They downloads from aliens. You know, as far as I know, we've never seen any information from these downloads. What has an alien downloaded into somebody that is completely alien, that they can relate to us, that, you know, is completely alien? Any super duper physics, anything like that, you know. All we ever get is stories from aliens. We're not looking after the planet. Well, that's it's a very easy thing to come up with, isn't it? You know. And you hear the same thing from a lot of the UFO piffle peddlers. You know, our stewardship of the planet might be coming to an end because we're not looking after it. You know, and the aliens really care about the about the planet. Don't care about us very much, of course. They care about the planet. So this Jason Sands, I think he's going to disappear fairly quickly. James Fox, of course, is going to look pretty bloody stupid, I think, if he's peddling this guy as a real ET whistleblower. How could anybody take this guy seriously, let alone make a documentary film about him? If that's what Fox has done, I think he's going to be out of business. I've never considered Fox to be credible, personal opinion. A lot of his stuff is just fanciful nonsense. None of it is ever backed up with any tangible evidence. But the fan base that he does have, I think, will evaporate as soon as he puts this out, if he's made a film about this guy. I mean, you could sit Randy Kramer, Corey Good, any of these people down and film them and say this is putting out as truth, and you've had it, really. You have had it. Now, another thing I saw was some guy that was involved in a nuclear weapons program. He was asked to go and have a look at a crashed flying saucer out in the desert somewhere in America. A crashed alien spacecraft, can you believe it? You know, I can't personally. And there's bits, you know, people have, oh yeah, I've got a bit of material here, there you go. This fell off of an alien spacecraft. I saw it in a clearing in a forest, you know, it took off. As soon as it saw me, it took off. But this fell off it, you know, fluttered to the ground. I've had it analysed, and the molecular structure is nothing like anything on Earth. Next caller, please. Complete and utter drivel. If alien spacecraft are flying around, they're going to need all their bits. Bits aren't going to fall off as they take off, you know. You're not talking about someone's 1970s Impala, you know. But these people can only relate to all this stuff as we see it, you know. They can't relate to the sort of technology aliens would have. They've got no imagination. Has to be nuts and bolts, you know. Has to be bits falling off. Absolute drivel. Anyway, this guy was asked to go and have a look. Now, I'm pretty sure this must have been a reconstruction, okay? I looked at a bit of video. And it's got the military, and they're out in the desert. And there's a spacecraft sticking out of a bank at an angle. Now, does that sound familiar? Sounds a lot like Danny Sheehan's story, doesn't it? It's a military scene. And there's a flying saucer sticking out of the ground at an angle. Now, this is pretty stereotypical science fiction stuff from the 50s and 60s, isn't it? The alien spacecraft sticking out of the ground at an angle. Now, this particular alien spacecraft, if you look at it, it's got 3 windows in it, you know. It's the Jupiter 2 from Lost in Space. If you come across that clip, the spacecraft sticking out of the ground at an angle like that, just Google Lost in Space, Jupiter 2, it's the same spacecraft. Now, I can only assume they were doing a reconstruction, because if they are telling us that is a real film of somebody investigating an alien spacecraft, it's beyond ludicrous. But all of this is, you know, and it is falling in a heap. There's infighting now amongst the piffle peddlers. You know, Eric Davis is saying Jason Sands is full of shit. Pardon me. None of this holds any water. There's no tangible evidence to support any of it at all. So I thought that was quite funny. The flying saucer sticking out of the ground, as described by Danny Sheehan, as described by many, because it's a stereotypical crashed ET craft scene. Even the Roswell, you know, the first site, they didn't find anything apart from bits of tin foil and rubber strips and balsa wood, so well, that can't be the real crash site. The real crash site's got to be, because it hit the ground there, that's where the tin foil and the balsa wood fell off. And then it crashed into a bank, and you see there's a picture of a flying saucer sticking out of a bank. Artist impression of a flying saucer sticking out of a bank, with alien bodies round it. And I was looking at some other guy who was saying that it took him 20 years to be able to break into the hull of the crashed spacecraft at Roswell. Yeah, all the other images you see, it's sticking out of a bank, and it's got holes in it, and the aliens are spilling out. You know, it's complete and utter rubbish. All of this is rubbish. We've heard that there are senior military officials that are saying that we're interacting with aliens. Now, is this Admiral Gudentut, or whatever his name is, the weather guy? He would be a senior military official, wouldn't he, or an ex-senior military? An admiral, I mean, that's pretty high up, isn't it? Top of the shop, pretty much, an admiral. So, you know, and he's saying we're interacting with multiple alien species. You know, Jason Sands is saying there's 2 alien species, is he? One of them's been dormant for 2,000 years. You know, this is complete and utter rubbish, science fiction claptrap. All of it. You know, and, you know, when you've got admirals saying we're interacting with many extraterrestrial species, and we've got people at the Pentagon that believe in demons, you can't take any of this seriously. And it shows you that regardless of what someone does for a living, or how high they might be in the military or in the government, they can have terrible critical thinking ability. They can be fanboys of this science fiction nonsense. They may have even joined the secret club and just be spreading this rubbish because they want to believe it. Tangible evidence is required for these extraordinary claims. We're not seeing any, are we? Come on, Admiral, where's the tangible evidence for your multiple species interacting with us? So, and where's the tangible evidence for demons running around the Pentagon? Excuse me. Now, yeah, I think people getting downloads from aliens, I think I mentioned that. It's a little bit out of sequence, that. It's normally when they lose their jobs or they've had a mental breakdown, they get downloads from aliens, downloads from aliens. I've got to look after this tree. Not how you might travel between the stars, you know. Some physics that we can get some top physicists to look at and say, you know, that would actually work. Never happens, does it? Because they're not getting downloads from aliens. So yeah, it's just a short one there. So as I said, I wasn't going to do one on Jason Sands. I just, you know, it's not worth looking at Jason Sands. My opinion, personal opinion. Same basket as Corey Good and Randy Kramer, the waste paper basket. Complete and utter rubbish. The ET fanboys all falling apart at the seams. If any of the usual suspects are supporting this guy as a first-hand whistleblower, you know, like Danny Sheehan or Coulthard or Grush, then you can see where this is going. It's just falling in a heap, isn't it? It's falling in a heap around their feet. It's falling in a heap around their feet. Because it's becoming obvious to everybody, even people that might have thought there was something to it, that it's a complete and utter load of rubbish. And I think, you know, Coulthard and Sheehan and Corbell, Knapp, Dolan, you know, all the usual suspects that have been peddling this bloody rubbish are all going to have to get together very soon, and they're going to have to go out for a slap-up Chinese dinner, and they're going to be ordering, this includes the Admiral and the guy at the Pentagon as well that sees the demons. They're all going to be ordering very, very large portions of egg on face. Egg on face. Because it's all going to fall in a heap and be revealed to be a complete and utter load of rubbish. Give it a couple of years and see who's right and who's wrong. I'm getting a sneaking suspicion I won't be around in a couple of years. But the video might be. And you'll be able to see who's right and who's wrong. Well, as always, thanks for watching. And if you got to this far, struggled this far through the video, all the way to this point, thanks very much indeed for watching. And that's what... This is why I always say at the end of every video, maybe I'll catch you again.